These are yard sale finds. Like a lot of people, we don't like to eat off of stuff like Teflon and all of that. And these were cast iron, which is healthy for you, more or less. I mean, you just have to, it adds iron to your diet and whatever. So we just don't eat off of Teflon. So we got these. Cast iron is relatively expensive if you're going to buy it brand new. And so you can get pretty decent deals. I think in the end, I think they wanted 15 for this, 12 for this, and I don't know, another 12 for that. And I think we ended up paying like 35 bucks for all of this. If you buy cast iron, you know that any one of these, like even the frying pan without the lid, you're going to pay at a minimum probably double that just for one of these. So now look at them. They obviously sat out in the rain and just, got nasty. So what we need to do, I'm going to refinish all of these at some point, but in this video, I'm just going to go ahead and refinish one. And I think I'm going to refinish this one because it's the easiest. So the process, I'm going to move this out of the way. We'll just keep these over here. So what I like to do with these is I take a wire brush on a grinder, and I grind this down as close to the bare metal as I can get it. Sometimes you can get it to the bare metal, but it's not really necessary. And then you season it, and the seasoning is relatively easy. I use, even though it's probably not the best stuff, I guess if you had tallow or something like that, you'd want to use that. But I use Crisco to season these, and you just bake it an hour or two, and you get that temperature up high, and you just come out every now and then, and I'll do a video on it, but you come out every now and then and you recoat it with the Crisco until you get the seasoning set up. And then after that, what I do is when I use them, we wash them, then we put them on the burner to dry them, and then once they're dry, we'll wipe them down with like olive oil or something like that. Again, I'm not you don't really want to try to season them with olive oil, because olive oil just, it burns at a lower temperature, and you'll just make it all sticky and nasty and all of that. So the first thing I'm going to do, because there's a lot of rust here, I'm probably just going to get a rag, and I'm going to wipe all of this rust out as best I can, because I really don't want it blowing around in here. I do have a respirator, but I don't know that I'm even going to mess with that. So let me go get a rag and clean that out. So once you've taken the rust off, you can see that this really isn't super bad. It's still rusty under there. It's all going to have to come off. So when you do this, proper, PPE is important. You want to have a set of gloves. I would suggest a respirator and safety glasses. All of that at a minimum. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to scrape off as much of this as possible. I'm probably will rinse it out a couple of times. There's a lot of junk in here. I got the cooking part of this done, and you'll notice it's not, some spots it's down to where the metal is, and others it's just, you're just taking the grime and stuff off of it, and this will be cleaned out obviously, but you're just taking the rust and all of that out. You don't have to take it down. I've seen people take it down to the bare metal, and that's fine. But I've never done it, and I don't think you need to do it if you're just trying to use a pan to re-season. Now this side of it and this part of the lid are not super critical. So I'm going to go ahead and take all of it off of the outsides, and then we'll get to the seasoning. Okay, so this is where I would get to say the finished product. You've got the rust and the grime and stuff mostly off of it. It's a little hard to do these prongs with the steel brush. So what I did was I put it in a vise, and I did, the portion I could do, and then I would just turn it each time to get that. And so this is all pretty much done. And like I said, the exterior is not that big of a deal. This is done. I mean, look at the difference between, you know, just the wire brush and even with this one, how that came out. And I'm going to use these at some point. This, I'm about anywhere from, I think, 35 to 45 minutes in on these. My wire brush is wearing out too, so I'm gonna have to get another one of those, but that's where we are with this right now. So now I'm gonna go do the seasoning. Okay, so these have all been washed off, and now I have them on the grill, and we're gonna dry them out and warm them up. That way there's no chance of them getting rusty or any of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just leave them on the grill here for a little bit and let them heat up and dry off. So the grill's at about 200. It's getting pretty hot. It's going to get hotter than that, but that's about a good point. You can look under here and you can see all of the, you can see parts that I didn't actually get cleaned off, but that's okay. They'll season out. And you just take your Crisco and you just sort of rub it on there. That's pretty much all you do, and you're going to do this more than once. You're going to do this a few times throughout this process. You're going to do it to the front and the back, so it's hard to do with one hand, but take this, and you'll just flip this over. Once that's flipped over, you just do the back, or the underside, whatever you want to call it. All right, so you get the point. That's what you got to do. You got to do that several times. I'm going to go and get both hands so I can move these things around and season them. So here we are. These are first coat of oil on them to season them top and bottom. And we'll come back in a little while after they baked a little bit and do another coat. Okay. So it's still a little bit warm, but this is the finished product. See how nice that came out? This, I guess, is a number 10 pan. It's a little, you got the grease on it. You got to use them a couple times to get them to where they're perfect. But this is pretty good. So what I did was, anywhere from 200 to 300 degrees, you wipe them in Crisco, both sides. And then you go back 5-10 minutes later, whatever it is, and you do it again. I mean, some people say to season them for several hours. I maybe do an hour and a half, something like that, because they're going to get seasoned when you are using them. So that's that. But just as a reference, this is sort of what these things looked like before I cleaned them up. That's not bad. I mean, you figure, I'm gonna estimate, because I know probably people can get them cheaper or more expensive, but these pans about 75 bucks. The lids are about 75 bucks. So I would say if you can get a good deal, you probably get them for 100 bucks brand new, everything, and up. And I paid, I think, 12 bucks and put 45 minutes worth of my time into it. So there you go.